Yeah.
Welcome to match one of week 2 of the E20 Minor League Championship. We have here the two teams come in. We have Make Amarr Great Again, coming in at 50 there with the my microphone's coming up.
Okay, Templis have all come in a ball at 50, whereas Make Amarr Great Again brought their cruiser friggin' destroyer in straight onto the beacon, with their battleship and battle cruiser slightly further out at 40 and 50 respectively. So it looks like they're going to try and use the range on the Ferox, but probably we're looking for a micro jump drive play with that Hyperion. Tight angles on the warpin, however, have somewhat precluded that, though we may see it try and get position using that micro jump drive anyway.
Yeah, I think we might see that Punisher and that Mauler and that Algos will all have heavy tackle, all going to be just burning up into the other team. They're just trying to grab them. They really need to get in and catch that Oracle. I don't think that the Oracle is going to be able to survive through reps if they get that Hyperion on it at all. Even the Mauler are a substantial amount of DPS.
And here we go, we're seeing damage going onto the Rifter and Oracle immediately, but damage going back towards the Algos of the Make Amarr Great Again team. That Hyperion appears to be just going for straight burning in. The Ferox has already released its skirmish burst, trying to protect its team, but that Algos has already gone to the fire from...
Yeah, that's a big loss, losing that Algos, because now if they had any rep bots in there, for example, they were able to deploy those and try and keep their Punisher up or their Mauler up. They would have just lost those. Demesh in the Mauler now starting to take damage as well from that Oracle. That Oracle is starting to drop, but he has got a lot of armor left, and with the Augur still able to rep him, unless that Hyperion is able to get up in about that other team, they're not going to be able to apply any substantial DPS that the Augur can't rep. And that Mauler now dropping into half armor, so they really need to get that Oracle tackled and get that Hyperion on top of him as soon as they possibly can. We are seeing the Oracle now webbed. He is scrammed and he is grappled as well, so the Hyperion is just going to be closing in and slowly chewing through him.
And we have the Templis Rifter trying to hold that Hyperion back, but it's got in range, and that's the damage that's ripping into that Oracle. It was tackled down by the Mauler. Geddon tried to nuke the tackle off, but it just couldn't save it, and that Oracle, quite a weak tank, as the attack battlecruisers do, has fallen, but they've managed to trade the Mauler for it for now.
Yeah, importantly, most of the heavy DPS still on the Make Amarr Great team. Still there, you got the Hyperion and you got the Ferox at range. So that Ferox, now with that Rifter not really doing a huge amount, that Ferox is going to be able to just sit in range and apply maximum DPS to the Geddon once they start shooting it. And I just don't think that Augur will be able to keep up. Again, that is tackled by Hyperion with the Ferox coming in from range. They've still got that Punisher as well, critically to go in and just hold ships down and allow that Hyperion to trundle up.
But we've seen Templis lose their Dragoon. Their Rifter is still trying to hold on to that Hyperion, let the Armageddon say that bit further out of blaster range. Geddon itself is cruise missile fit. It can apply from anywhere, so any range it can get on that Hyperion is going to help it win any duel between the two by protecting it from that in-your-face a huge DPS the Hyperion has. It's going to be trying to nuke out that Hyperion, trying to bring its guns offline, and save itself that way.
Yeah, so the Hyperion is about 20 kilometers from the Armageddon. The Armageddon briefly was webbed and was slowing down, but the scram and web on the Hyperion by that Rifter, which is still managing to survive, is just enabling the last Spartan in that Armageddon to pull range and get away, which is kind of what he wants to do. He wants to be able to just get out of range and avoid getting into the blaster range of that Hyperion. When he does end up getting caught, if he does get caught, he will, like you say, be able to use his newts to try and defend himself, and if he can survive long enough to newt out that Hyperion, then there is a chance they might take this match and win it. Now, having that logic is powerful because it means that Rifter you can see it's just taking damage and then getting repped up. The Hyperion, even with that grappler, is just not able to track the Rifter very well at all and put any damage onto him, so he cannot get free, which means at the moment we have a little bit of a stalemate. The real key difference is with Logi on the field for the Templis team, they will be able to survive a lot longer, and it's just a case of whittling down the Make Amarr Great Again team, and we are seeing that Ferox start to drop now.
Indeed, we're seeing DPS go back onto the ships of Make Amarr Great Again and digging away through the shields on that Ferox. It's the only ship on that team that was shield tanked, and it's looking very low on hit points at this point. Geddon can get damage on it pretty much anywhere with the cruise missiles, and we're probably going to see it continue to drop, though we're seeing a lot of light drones out towards it and that's probably what's going to be doing most of the DPS with the bonuses on that Geddon and the fitting on it, all favouring drones for now.
Yeah, that's just all much down to Stalins here in that rift now. Basically, I would say he's one of the key players for his team here. Him holding down that Hyperion and just enabling the Armageddon to get away, survive, and apply damage to that Ferox. This is probably what's going to win them the match here. That one play by Stalins on that Rifter, getting in, getting that Hyperion webbed, scrammed, and just holding him down, really just removing him from the match.
And then we see another volley of cruise missiles slamming into that Ferox, and it's going into the structure. It has got an ancillary rep. It can potentially, it's probably reloading it at the moment, and that's why it's managed to be taken so low. It's going to be racing to try and get that reloaded, get that hot, heated, and cycling again, see if it can save itself for a bit longer. Because
Yeah, that
And it's
Rifter
not
is
all
actually
the time.
dropping really low. I don't know whether the Augurs got out of range or the reps are start to cap out, for example, but it looks like he's starting to struggle. The Rifter down to very low armor. If he goes into structure and starts to drop, then that Hyperion will be free once again, and a free Hyperion is not what you want to be facing. Although, saying that, now that Rifter getting ripped back up towards full armor. And I think it's just a case of now that Armageddon just slowly whittling down that Hyperion.
Once that Ferox is gone, that's a lot of the DPS that they could still actually apply to that Rifter would have gone with it. That Hyperion, though it's got good tracking on the blasters, they're completely unbonused for tracking, and it's going to be running low on how often it can cycle them in the first place now that it's been under cap pressure for so long.
Yeah, I think the Rifter itself might be receiving a bit of cap pressure because he's moved his Newts and Nos off onto the Punisher rather than the Hyperion, which it was on previously. So I don't know if maybe he's just running out of cap to run those. So if that Rifter does drop that Scram or Web just for a little bit, Hyperion might be able to pull a little bit of range and get his blasters onto that Rifter.
I think
The Punisher is dying.
Yeah, that was a very clever play by the last Spartan. He moved them over and shut down the prop mod on that Punisher, stopped it from getting over and getting onto that Augur as fast as it could have done, and meant that it was in good position to just keep putting DPS on it and take it out before it turned into a problem.
Yeah, it looks like Holiday Sauce, great character name by the way, is just trying to burn away and trying to survive, but it's too late and he is down. So now it's just up to Arya Yato in the Hyperion to try and solo this entire team. However, as we've already seen, with all of his pals, they could not get the Hyperion free of that Ferox, and that Rifter, sorry, and now that Rifter is regenning shield. So we've got 3 minutes 20 seconds of watching a battleship flailing around helplessly with a little Rifter holding him down. I generally don't think the Templis team will have enough DPS to break the Hyperion's just terrific tank. Like it's able to just a huge amount, and it can probably defang a lot of the damage coming from that Armageddon if he just chooses to shoot drones. So,
well, actually, what we see here is the Hyperion is smart bombing to try and clear off the drones coming from that Armageddon, and with those being a lot of the Armageddon's DPS, if it can get through the Berserkers in time, it will be very effective at keeping that Hyperion alive.
yeah, it's probably worth mentioning that this is a points-based league, so it's not just a case of trying to stay alive to tell your friends how much greater you are than them. By staying alive, 5 points for killing the battleship, which at the end of the season could make quite the difference. 5 points here, 5 points there. It also saves his team a 5-point loss. However, can he tank now for another 2 minutes and 10 seconds? You can see him rep, but he only has so much paste in that booster, and he is under Armageddon newts, so he is going to be seriously struggling to do that.
Yes, and here we actually see a very good play from Omar Jumper in the Augur. He is beginning to rep the Berserkers that are attacking that Hyperion, giving them the HP that they can stay on the Hyperion. They don't have to worry about having those smart bombed off. And that is a brilliant play at keeping the Hyperion from defanging that DPS and keeping DPS on the Hyperion so they have more chance of getting it down and getting more points for this victory.
Yeah, so it's really just a race now in terms of DPS versus the Hyperion's local tank now. He's been boosting for some time, and he will run out of pace. When he runs out of pace, he will have to boost on cap, and he cannot do that very successfully for very long with that Armageddon just sitting there, muting the hell out of him. There's absolutely nothing he can do. And that Armageddon cleverly staying long enough range that the Hyperion can't really get his grappler on it and try and slowly close range, but also getting into reasonable range to get the maximum amount of his newts.
Indeed. And though that is an armor rep, it will work without paste in it, but it's not going to work effectively. It will have been eating cap every single cycle. It's not like a shield ancillary. It doesn't just get to run for free while it's loaded. And that Hyperion will be deeply suffering on cap, especially as it's continuing to run this smart bomb despite potentially they may not have realized it, but despite the fact it's being countered by the reps coming off of that Augur. Though the Augur is slowly taking some damage.
Yeah, looks like the Augur maybe got a little bit too close. The Hyperion is taking a little bit of damage, but it's not enough. I think the Hyperion has run out. He hasn't boosted for a while. There's 20 seconds left in this match, so to get the full 5 points, full 5 points by getting those 5 points from the Hyperion, can they do it in 14 seconds? Can they just break through into structure? Once he hits structure, he will go down a lot faster. He is very low, only 15% armor. There's 6 seconds left. I just don't think he's going to do it. Living to win, really. So good job, Arya in the Hyperion, surviving to the end. The only ship left in his team as Templis take a pretty solid victory over Make Amarr again. A great match, and we'll toss this one back to the studio.